You are married legally to your husband of 30 years.
Sure.
You've had a ceremony with your other husband.
Yes.
Who y'all been together for over
11 years in October this year.
You have stated monogamy is not, humans are not meant to be monogamous.
These are scientific facts that if people just look at it, males and females of monogamous species only mate once and they mate for life. If that mate should die, so does their sex drive. Monogamy means I have one mate per lifetime. None of y'all is monogamous.
I want you to talk about it because when people look at you, they're like, oh, she just got these men and they just swarming around her. Your husbands have other wives.
Yes.
They have other women that they are in community with. They have girlfriends. They date. You date.
Yes. 66% of those married today are in adulterous affairs. That's most all. 40% of those married today in the U.S. are sexless. That means sex less than 4 times a year.
You said this. You do not believe in breakups. These are continuations.
Thank you.
In relationship.
Yes.
Welcome to Vaughn and Powers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface. We dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandi Harvey. Y'all, I need you to buckle your seatbelts. I need you to get in position because you're about to have your mind changed today. Kenya K. Stevens is a relationship revolutionary, best-selling author and CEO of Progressive Love Academy, a global community transforming how we love, lead, and live. As a feminine energy coach, media personality, and advocate for conscious relationships, Kenya has spent over 2 decades teaching radical authenticity, emotional intelligence, and the art of polyamory and spiritual relationships and partnerships. Kenya has been featured in Rolling Stone, the New York Times, and TLC's hit series Seeking Brother Husband, where she challenges conventional notions of marriage, monogamy, and power dynamics with fearless truth and feminine grace. Through her work, Kenya empowers thousands to build relationships rooted in sovereignty, healing, and joy. Vaughn and Powers Talks welcome wife, mother, author, coach, priestess, and luminary Kenya K. Stevens to the show.
I've never heard it. Oh, say that again. That makes my life feel good, Brandi.
Come on, the queen is in the building.
Good. It makes it feel good.
Honey.
Because it's been a hard road with that poly.
I know.
It's been a challenge, and here we are.
I mean,
I'm talking to Brandi Harvey.
Girl, I'm talking to Kenya K. Stevens, baby. Honey, the queen herself. Let me say this. To watch you, to listen to you, to watch you in practice and action, you are some kind of energy. You are light. You are powerful. I got to tell you that before we start in this conversation.
My goodness, that feels good to hear.
Yeah.
I have wondered, it's not that I've wondered where Black women are in this debate or in this, world that I exist in. Are you with me? And this is just, we are with you.
Honey,
I see you. I feel you.
GP, are you with me? Oh, yeah.
We rolling together on this?
Listen,
Or am I on my own out here?
Listen, we having church. We ain't going nowhere, Kenya.
That's beautiful.
Let me say this. Okay, many people have come in contact with you because of the hit TLC show,
Yes.
Seeking Brother Husband.
That's fun.
Where they saw you with 2 husbands. And baby, if the internet was talking, they was talking about your 2 husbands.
Yes, they were. I loved that we were able to bring that forth on national television, international television now, where you could see an African-American woman, a pioneer, an innovator, standing strong and proud and looking intelligent and beautiful. That's why the show is no longer, because we weren't fighting. It was no drama. TLC said, well, what is this? But we know that we didn't have any drama to give. We've developed the tools. I just loved being the first Black woman to be married on national television in a polyamorous triad, as well as just being able to stand and show so many women what's possible. Because we don't have to follow the standard narrative, especially if it has not served us.
Especially if it has not served us. I want you to go back because you have been married to your first husband for 30 years.
Yes.
You all met at Howard University. He was getting his MBA. You were in undergrad. You all fell in love. You did the traditional marriage.
Yes.
And then year 4 into the marriage, you start having these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, now I know that the feeling is called a womb choice. When a woman is womb choosing, her root chakra is spinning.
Yeah.
And you can meet any man anywhere and different chakras are going to spin. You know, you meet some men, your crown chakra is spinning. I call that a crown choice.
Yeah.
You meet other men, your heart chakra is spinning. I call that a support choice. Oh, he's so emotionally supportive. He's listening. He's present. But when your womb is spinning, that's called the womb choice. And you're ready to go home with that man tonight. And
it's been a few, Kenya, that the root ain't been working.
But now this is our ancestral wisdom.
Yeah.
The ancestors informed me on all of my tools. They said that women once taught their daughters this so that we could discern the difference between what men can offer us in the community. Okay, not with the one. But we can get into that later. But yes, the show, it really did. Why did I start talking about womb choice?
Because we have a choice in our choosing of men.
Yes.
And certain men, evoke certain things in us.
And that's what happened to me at year 4 in my marriage.
You got the root
I
chakra.
got the root chakras. Because I hugged the guy. I hugged him one time. And I felt the orgasm come from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head and like out. It was such a blissful experience. And sometimes we have these experiences and we dismiss it. Like, oh, that's just da-da-da. This is the body speaking. This is the spirit speaking. This was a womb choice for me. And I found out that we had past life connections, me and this guy. We had all types of connections that we didn't even know about and weren't aware of. And it just awakened in that moment.
Because you've said on multiple platforms with your husband by your side, who you all are still married to one another, that your initial crown chakra was initiated with your husband.
Ooh, my husband spins my crown chakra. Oh, he's brilliant. He's beyond brilliant. He's my king of kings. We didn't even get off on sex. We got off on staying up all night talking about politics, talking about spirituality, meditating, coming back, telling each other what we saw. We have a crown choice relationship.
Yeah.
That's our sensuality.
And you all have had a crown choice, but you all have 3 children that you all share together.
Yes.
Who are all grown now.
Well, yes, we added some support choice because there was only one route. In the traditional sense, you meet a man and he needs to be all the choices.
Yeah.
And if he's not one of them, you like, it's going to be okay. But it's not going to be okay. All humans need all of their chakra energetics connected on various levels in the network of community. So my husband and I just got to the point where we could see that. But when I first got married, he had to be everything.
Yeah. So you said year 4, it happens for you. Year 11, your husband falls in love with someone that he's working with at his job.
Yes.
And that is when you all really start to have full conversations about what does this look like for us?
Yes. My husband worked corporately. He has his MBA from Howard, and he was working at Accenture. And this is the type of place where once you become a manager, now you meet people at work and they're interested in you. You look great. You smell great. You making the kind of money they're interested in. So he had a lot of potential suitors at work. I mean, people have work husbands, work wives, right? So that was just one of his work wives, a friend. But he wanted to take it further.
And so this conversation, you initiated originally and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Then your husband, though, he originally wanted to have a different type of relationship.
Yes. Now, let's back up. When I brought up the other man and how I had the womb choice feeling, my husband didn't understand that. He wasn't like thinking that I should be poly or I should actually have this man. He ushered me directly to our marriage counselors, and they told me I need to forget about it. I was having dreams about him every night.
Wow.
They said, forget about it. Don't think about it again. Let it go. It wasn't going to be poly at all when I had the experience. When my husband had the experience, he was saying, hey, we could have multiple wives like all the other Africans and the African traditions that we know. So he had a ground to stand on. I didn't. You know what I mean? So neither of us went forward with those relationships, because we didn't have a ground to stand on. I told him, okay, you African, you want to do this. I'm from Detroit. I said, I'm from Detroit, and I went to Howard, and my mother runs a business. She's businesswoman of the year. Like, who are you talking to? So that's sort of how that
Listen,
went.
I'm from Cleveland, Kenya, so I already know what time it is.
And I acknowledge my African heritage. I'm very Afrocentric, but I don't acknowledge a lack of equality in relationships, especially when people are both working. They're both, we're both doing all the things.
Yeah. So I want you to break down for our audience. There are 3 different levels, right? There's polyamory, there's polyandry,
Sure.
there's polygamy. So break those down for our audience.
Well, what my husband wanted was polygyny. That's, in my view, that's like the chest beating idea. Now, here's the real deal with polygyny. A lot of people say that it is from Africa. But how do you take, first of all, 400 years of just the first wave of Africans coming to Americas, right? Some say, well, Africans were in Americas. Yes, Africans are indigenous to every continent. We're the indigenous of China, the indigenous of Japan, the indigenous of Australia, the indigenous of America, of course. But even with that said, if you knew the level of desecration that has happened to our culture, you don't know 95% of what our greatest grandmothers knew about all of the things: childbirth, marriage, menopause, how to deal with these are the things that we've lost. How did polygyny remain?
Of all the things.
Polygyny did not remain. It was created along with patriarchy. When I've been all the way through Africa. The African men in Kenya, I recorded it myself. It's on my Instagram page. He said Africans were polyamorous. The women and the men were free to choose. That marriage had nothing to do with who you could have sex with. So polygyny is an inverted, leftover part of African culture that was co-opted by Western culture, said this part can stay. Because it fits monogamy, it fits Western marriage, but it is not what indigenous people utilized in terms of a relationship guide.
So break it down for the audience. Polyandry is
one woman who can have multiple male partners, and those male partners are monogamous to her.
Polyamory is
any human can have multiple partners, no matter what your genitalia. Humans love multiple people. Polyamory means many loves.
and then I'm missing
Polygyny. Yes,
Yeah.
that's when a man can have multiple women, and those women are supposedly monogamous to him.
So you've talked about this because my mother wanted to send me and my sister a text message the other day because Neo was on Good Morning America. She said, "What is this Neo thing about? He has 4 girlfriends," and I'm like, "Mom, that's old, but go ahead, girl. Like you just
found out.
She said, I didn't know anything about Neo having 4 girlfriends. But when you hear it, Neo's 4 girlfriends are supposedly monogamous to only him.
Oh.
That is considered what?
That's polygyny.
Polygyny.
Yes.
So when someone sees someone like you, what do you practice?
Polyamory. Yes.
Meaning
I am free and my husband is free
to choose.
And we are committed to one another and to all of our partners.
See, now this is where the audience is going. They're going to say, you lost me. They're going to say, wait a minute.
Why would I lose them when I talk about equality? Why wouldn't I have the same rights and privileges as my husband? Should he have more rights and privileges than I do? And if so, why?
Now, you have stated monogamy is not... Humans are not meant to be monogamous.
Well, we're not a monogamous species.
And I truly 1,000% agree with this.
Well, you don't have to agree. It's scientific fact. Monogamous species only have sex when the female is in heat. Now, when's the last time we only had sex during the 5 days that we're ovulating? Never. We have sex whenever we want to. Monogamous species, the males produce spermicide in their sperm. Because why? Why would spermicide be needed in sperm? Why?
To not procreate, right?
Spermicide is inside of the sperm.
Yeah.
So what is it there to kill?
The baby, the egg,
the other sperm that's already there. Think of natural selection. There's spermicide in male sperm. That means that sperm is been naturally selected to have to kill other sperm. Or else, Why did nature put spermicide in the sperm?
Interesting.
These are scientific facts that if people just look at it, males and females of monogamous species only mate once and they mate for life. If that mate should die, so does their sex drive. Monogamy means I have one mate per lifetime. None of y'all is monogamous. Monogamy means a monogamous species, the male's penis is retractable. You cannot tell the difference between a geese and a goose. These are a monogamous
Kenya,
species.
There's some men out here, you can't tell the difference between a geese or a goose.
I mean, the goose looks the same from male to female.
I know. Uh-huh.
There's no protruding breasts. There's no protruding asses. There's no protruding penis. It is retractable. You can't tell the difference. Monogamous species do not commune. They live in trees like gibbons with their families or in burrows with only their family. We're just not a monogamous species. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah. So when people hear this conversation, most people are only thinking, oh, she just want to be having sex with a bunch of people. Oh, they just over there just being freak nasty. They just digging each other down. They loving on. It's a line. I mean, she getting a train ran on her. This is what people are saying. Now, Kenya, this is exactly, I listened to a man debate you on his platform.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of the things that he said. Like, he basically was like, oh, you just getting a train ran on you with a semen cocktail. This is what that man said while in a debate with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of humans are embarrassed about their sexuality.
Yeah.
When humans are extraordinarily sexual, there's no more sexual animal than us except dolphins. Okay? And dolphins and humans both have a connection to their sexuality because their connection is a sacred connection. It actually connects them back to their source. And so the church had to cut that connection. I'm sorry to say that. But guess what? That had to be cut if you're going to replace your own connection to your own internal and divine superpower, the source of all wisdom, the source of all healing. If you're going to cut that connection, you have to replace it with something. You have to cut that sexual connection. I'm very sorry to say. Because if you have the openness towards your sensuality, if you know that it is your godliness, if it is your divine connection to, if it's a meditation, for me, sensuality is a meditation.
Yeah.
It is a ritual. It is a superpower it is the way that I can connect to when you have an orgasm, for instance, there you are at homeostasis. It feels good because all of your organs go into homeostasis. So I think that people we've been tricked into being ashamed of our most goddess-given, God-given right to pleasure and bliss. And I think that's what's going on.
I mean, you talk about the challenges because you said this, polyamory, polygyny, this is not easy.
No.
It's not an easy thing. There has to be consent. There has to be the removal of all shame and blame.
Yes.
There has to be open, authentic conversation.
Woo. When my husband and I first decided that we wanted to be polyamorous, it was a 2-year discussion that took place because we didn't have anything laid out. I never advise, there's no one born in the United States or any Western culture that can decide today you're going to be poly and succeed. Forget about it. Your entire brain, the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you envision love is about one person committing to solely you. And so you have to rewire all of that in order to even get started on the path. When couples come to me, I've stopped thousands of divorces. That's what I actually do for a living.
You have a program called Divorce Proof Your Marriage.
Yes.
Yeah, through your Progressive Love Academy.
Yes, I stopped divorces because, divorce is about the fact that we're not a monogamous species and people get bored. Now, there's all types of things layered on top of that, like, well, they cheated, or there's money issue, or this, or that, or sexual mismatch, or I chose the wrong one. But the bottom line is we're a communal species, and we want community. That's it. I have to divorce you so I can be free. Now, everybody can say whatever else they think it is, but that's another thing that you can see with a scientific study.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, let's talk about the freedom.
Yeah.
Because when we hear this type of conversation of a woman who has multiple husbands, and of course, everybody in the comments are going to be Bible thumpers. Here they come. They theologians. I know. Here they come. They got a scripture ready, Kenya. I get called a harlot more in the comments on YouTube than any other place, based on the conversations that we have on the show, right?
But you know what? I've been doing this for 20 years, since 2005. And so, do you remember Lipstick Alley?
Oh, yeah.
Do you understand there was threads with millions of comments about my lifestyle? Y'all think it's a few comments. I have had threads on hip hop, Lone Star. What is that? Gold Star?
World Star.
World Star. This is things that's now closed. That if you open the backlog, you will see millions. And why didn't I care? Because I have seen family after family in my own family, which is a huge expanse of rich and powerful men and women in Detroit. We ran Detroit. We had our white folks in check. We run Detroit business-wise. And I watched every single marriage turn around and go south due to what somebody did with their genitals. And if you're telling me, if anybody watching can tell me that we are not smart enough and creative enough to come up with our own model, a model that works for us, for humans, and that's bad to try to create a solution, then talk to me about it, because I've created solutions for my clients.
Let's talk about the solutions, because this is tried and true in your marriage. You have been married for 30 years. You have 3 adult children, all gone to college. Your daughter is now the Poly Fairy on Instagram. She is a teacher in this lifestyle. I want you to talk about some of the real hurdles that you all had to jump in pursuing this lifestyle.
Yes.
But also things that made your life and your marriage much better because of the lifestyle.
Okay, so first hurdle, when we got into this lifestyle, what we hadn't separated was that whole piece: ego, animal, and higher self. When I was mad at my husband for wanting to be with another one, I remember my husband would come home and sit outside in the driveway and be talking to this girl named Ayana. He loved Ayana. He was in love with Ayana. Ayana's one of my friends. She was one of my younger friends, helping me raise my children, coming over, babysitting. And he said, I just love her. She's about 25. I'm about 30. It was just like, it was aggravating and agging me. But at the same time, it was so honest. My husband's always been honest. He was like, I love her. Like, I like her energy. I like her vibes. Like, this is before we were poly. He would tell me who he liked. And why he likes them. And it was like a part of our closeness. And I didn't do the same, but I wish I could. I didn't learn that till after poly to tell my husband that. But anyways, he was open with me. So here we are, and he's going through these motions and sharing himself openly. And I learned that there was 3 reactions I was having. My animal was pissed as fuck. Like, Ayana was thicker than me, and I was like, my animal was like, ugh, like, he wants somebody thicker. Why he marry me? Like, he want this, he want that. I don't have that. I don't have, your animal's upset, jealous, possessive, envious. Then my ego had a story. Well, he's talking like this. Well, he better bring home the money. He better have enough money for these, or whatever. I would just have an attitude, or why is he saying that? He's not telling me I can do it, or whatever my story was. So I had my feelings, I had my story, and I totally ignored that I had a higher self. My higher self is like, this is being presented to grow you, to bring a new experience for your brain to have to develop, to find solutions, for you to find more parts of you than just a little girl who's scared and afraid of abandonment. Wow. This is for you to grow your power. As a human, forget a wife. As a mother, as a wife, as a human, though, like, that's why I'm on earth. So that was the first skill that I really mastered in polyamory is, understanding that my animal got feelings. And those feelings are valid. They're not true, but they're valid. Like, they should be heard, soothed. I taught my husband how to soothe my animal. I need to be soothed. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
That was not a skill we had in monogamy. It was just you could let your animal go anytime and nobody knew how to soothe each other. You could argue for days. We couldn't be doing that with poly. You don't have time. This is a more mature. You have to take these steps up this ladder of self-development.
Because even when you said going off, one of the rules is there is a consent to vent.
Yes.
Yeah, so you just can't be firing
we
off.
We cannot be firing off, but we didn't. What I'm trying to tell you is that poly taught us this. We didn't have to do that in monogamy. You could argue all day. It's no community around you. Y'all can fight. Y'all can do anything physical in the motherfucking house. And y'all know it. Because every one of my clients, no matter what their complexion, how old they are, or what they money they make, they all be in the house roughing each other up.
Yeah.
Now, they can play and lie.
The married people over here in the studio audience, baby.
Well, because you remember like your sister and brother. You remember sibling rivalry. Yeah. That's what marriages become.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hey, live studio audience. Hey, live studio audience, y'all, is Carly. That's the live studio audience today, y'all. Just so y'all know, it's Carly. Okay, talking about she threw a candle at Ben's head.
But nobody talks about it. So we had to get that in order because now we're around community. And I love the level of accountability it forced us into.
So I want you to talk about the accountability because there are some people who are listening like, girl, ain't gonna be no other woman. I'm enough for my man. I'm all the things to my man. I'm all the things to my woman. She can't be wanting nobody else. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that?
66% of those married today are in adulterous affairs. That's most all. 40% of those married today in the U.S. are sexless. That means sex less than 4 times a year. What is this person talking about? Do they understand the law of averages? Do they understand if their child came home with a 40% correct on the test? That's our marriage rate. 30% is still married. Okay, so if your son came home with a 30% correct, you just going to be praising him and let him do the same thing? No, you're going to get help for that person. We have a problem. We're losing our wealth behind it. We're losing our children behind it. This is not a joke. So that's what I would say to somebody who has an issue with me solving the problem of going against our nature in Western marriage. It's not even our culture. Who culture is it? It's not our culture. And so all I've done is study indigenous culture worldwide. That was my major at Howard University, plus psychology. And I've created new models that work.
Yeah. Talk about the new models that work, because there are people out here who they've gotten over the 7-year hump. Maybe they got the 10-year. We got 2 people in the audience right now who just celebrated 10 years of marriage. Mm-hmm. And they're like, maybe that person's like, I'm all I need to be for my husband or my wife.
Well, here's the deal. As I said, when couples come to me and say they want to be poly, the answer is no, you're not ready. I have 4 steps to polyamory that I work my clients through in my course. And step 1 is authentic communication. Most of us cannot tell our partners half of what's on our mind on any given hour. So you're not authentic and you're not showing up as a real person in your relationship because you can't. You're going to get smacked. I asked Dr. Phil when I was on a Dr. Phil show. No, I asked him for real. I said, Dr. Phil, have you ever been attracted to someone at work? He said, yeah. I said, did you come home and tell your wife? He's like, no, she'll hit me with a pot. Now, this is a psychologist, supposedly. You're not authentic in your relationship. You're not allowed. Yeah. So that's the first problem we fix. It's not about poly first. Poly is the end of the road after you master some self-worth and some self-growth and some change, some cultivation.
Yeah, some cultivation. How do we begin to cultivate that if we say, you know what, this is something I want to explore. Mm-hmm. This is something I'm into. How do you begin to cultivate that outside of the authentic communication? So authentic communication is not something where, we just have authentic communication. Like, let's just be more real. That's never going to work because you're going to address the reason why you're afraid. That's the work that I do with my clients. Also, you learn how to have a conversation where it's safe. We teach our clients how to set up safe space in their conversations because usually it's not safe. I might come to you. I'll try to tell you something. Hey, well, I want to go to Jamaica with my boys. What? Jamaica with your boys?
I haven't even set that conversation.
Colombia, the DR, Brazil.
I mean, I don't know how to. We weren't taught how to bring hard conversations to our spouse. That's the first thing that I teach my clients.
Is how to bring the hard conversations. What was the first hard conversation that you had to have in your marriage when you guys started to open up to experience this new level in your relationship?
Two things. One, I was in love with another man. That was a challenge.
That was clear before you came to him. You just knew, I'm in love with this man.
Oh, I knew it from the time I saw him. He was another womb choice. I'll be in love with womb choices from day one.
I know that's right, me too.
They don't have to be in love with me. Let me tell you, I know love when I feel it. Me too, Kenya. I'm sorry.
I do too, honey.
It don't have to be mutual yet. So that's the first authentic conversation, because it's very challenging to tell your husband who you're not in love with. That's a big cue. And I say it rolls off my tongue, but most people gasp. I'm not in love with my husband? In love is a state of chemical cocktails that make you feel like you got butterflies and you got this. We did that in 1995. It lasted maybe 2 years. I don't even think 2 years. And then it started transforming into that unconditional love that you must have if you're going to remain married, because you are no longer in love with your spouse. And I think people don't really embrace that. That's another thing I support my couples in embracing, because they can't have the conversation.
Because it's hard to say, I'm not in love with you. I love you. I love being around you.
Yes.
I love what you bring to my life.
Yes.
But I don't want to sleep with you, though.
Right. And it's not like, you're right. It's not something that most people can talk about, but it's something all married people feel. And if the married people in the studio want to say something about that, because they know I'm not lying. And so I support my clients in having these conversations, because once you have them, now, it's like before you ride the bike, you scared, you're going to fall, somebody holding the bike. Now I push them on off and they riding the bike. Now we can actually have these conversations. We know they're not going to cause an argument. We know our emotions are going to be heard, seen, and met. We know we're going to be soothed. And we know this is going to pull us even closer together. If we weren't having sex, baby.
We having it now.
Communication, that's what heals the sex concerns.
Yeah. You said that initially, your husband had this idea of having multiple women.
Yeah.
But then when you all started to up-level your communication, and this became something that you all really were like, we're going to explore this in our marriage, you were pushed to explore first.
Yes. Well, I wasn't pushed. I told him that the person who has the weakest affinity to do this should go first. That's one of our very basic client procedures. Nobody's going to come to me and say, hey, I want my wife to be poly. Show my wife how to be poly. But meanwhile, I got me a girlfriend. No, you don't. Back that up. Get back in this marriage and heal what needs to be healed. Polyamory is not going to heal your marriage. Polyamory is going to make your marriage worse. Yeah. Because y'all already don't trust each other. You have not built up authentic communication. You don't know how to soothe her ego. She got an ego too. Man and women egos the same. You got to know how to soothe her ego. She got to know how to soothe your ego. Now let's soothe these animals. You got to know how to soothe her animal body, her nervous system, regulate her, co-regulate. Y'all have to know how to do that, because you're going to come home from these dates and y'all going to be mad. Your 2-year-old self is going to be sitting right there. 5-year-old self, 7-year-old self, when daddy left, mama and them wasn't doing right. They didn't. All of that is sitting right there. That's what the relationship is about. And so you have to be ready to deal with that person's emotions.
Yeah. When you had your first date, you talked about how
he was at home in the basement. Now, my husband doesn't smoke, wouldn't let me drink on our honeymoon. Done drink, done smoke. Now, he didn't drink some gin, smoking a cigar. I asked my kids, I called, where's Dad? We don't know. We can't see him. He was very upset about that first date, but that's what comes up. That was his 10-year-old self, his 8-year-old self who got rejected, or this is what's going to come up. It's already coming up. Don't think if you monogamous, you safe from this. Mm-hmm. This is what relationships, this is the only precipice that another human is your mirror. And to bring out your traumas and triggers, that's what the purpose is.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready for that with poly, because it's times 2 and 3 and 5 mirrors. And
so then your husband, you have this date, your first experience.
Yeah.
You have a date, and your husband is triggered. What happens after you come home from that date?
After I come home from that date, I hold space. I mean, he's upset. He's talking about his feelings. I tell him to put your feelings in safe container, please. Nobody in my house is allowed to just come out with their feelings and just bring a wild animal in the room. You're not going to bring a tiger in the room unless you have a what?
A cage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bring your emotions in the room inside of a safe container. So that's another skill
so good
that I teach my clients. I just don't understand like nonviolent communication, radical honesty, Gottman. They don't house and include the emotions and the emotional body like indigenous cultural systems do. So up-level communication is an indigenous system. Your emotions are allowed. You could scream, you could yell, you could cry. You need to throw something, you want to wrestle, we could do that. Like all inside of that safe container. So that's what my husband and I used.
I want you to talk about this because there have been many times I watched a few episodes of different shows that you've done, and you are labeled sometimes as angry. They're like, there you go, she being angry. And you're like, yeah, I'm allowed to be angry.
Yeah, I love my anger.
Yeah.
That's the same thing when you say, oh my God, what do you do about people who say that's dirty? I love my sex. I love my anger. I love my sadness. I love my deep well of depression where I discover what's in my underworld and in my shadow. I love my shadow. I love every part of me. And that has been cultivated, again, through polyamory and through having the number of mirrors that I have. Because every man is me looking at me. Oh, there's me. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at narcissistic me. Oh, look at this me, So this has elevated me to a status of being able to embrace myself fully.
Yeah. Embrace yourself fully. When you decided to take on another husband, this threw people because of course most people are looking there like, this ain't biblical, this ain't even constitutional, this ain't even recognized. You are married legally to your husband of 30 years.
Sure.
You've had a ceremony with your other husband.
Yes.
Who y'all been together for over
11 years in October this year.
So 11 years, you all had a ceremony.
Yes.
That signifies you all's commitment to one another.
Yes.
And then you have other husbands?
I have other husbands.
You have two other husbands?
2 other husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you said that you are bound by LLCs. Y'all have companies
That's
together.
right.
Yeah.
How did you know? Now, that's a little known secret.
I'm
trying
homework.
to figure out how people think a marriage license holds so much weight. Try an LLC with somebody. Try a corporation. Try an S-corp with somebody. Now, you got paperwork. You got financials. And you got a business. Every one of your men should be in business with you. What are y'all doing?
I love that you said this. You said for you to consider a man your husband, there is a financial commitment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that financial commitment is that you're going to grow the capital of this family and work with these men and stop trying to do everything on your own. If you were able to do it, then it would be done. Now you have more resources here. See them as resources. None of y'all are in competition. Y'all got to train y'all men. I don't understand y'all taking a long time. We have to train. Men are looking at us. We're connected to spirit. We're the ones who know how to get them in order and get them working together so they can make this money. And whatever whether it's cocoa yams or gold or money or cowrie shells, whatever it is. I'm not saying money is the all-encompassing thing.
Yeah.
But
you have to be willing to build.
Yes.
And that is what this is about for you.
Let me tell you something. My husband, Tiger, works at the airline. Let me tell you who got airline ticket. My other husband, me, who got the buddy pass. All my people, all of our community, baby. Who you talking to? Let me tell you, who am I gonna hire first? Y'all kids, my husband, kid. What you doing? Who made the music for my podcast? My husband. Who picked me up today at the airport? My other husband. It's nothing that I need that is not going to be available as a resource through my network.
Honey, you the queen, baby. Let me say this. Honey, to watch you in the orbit around you, honey, it is divine. If y'all ain't catching it, baby, you playing yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so much better. When my husband tried to do everything, it's like everything fell down and I had to be the one helping pick up the plates. We need some men in here helping with this and some more women.
Yeah.
I love my husband's women.
I want you to talk about it because when people look at you, they're like, oh, she just got these men and they just swarming around her. Your husbands have other wives.
Yes.
They have other women that they are in community with. They have girlfriends. They date. You date.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think TLC didn't want to show that because I don't know how much they want to promote community and unity among humans, especially humans.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong. But to see how I get along with his other women and to see the value that they bring. Do you think I'm cooking? I didn't raise kids. My kids are 25, 27, and 21. I retired from cooking. Now, the other lady come over and she pick up the slack. I got another one who was running one of my companies. And I don't see how we do any of these things alone and think we can do all this building alone.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the dynamic? Because when we saw on the show, you slept in the room with Tiger.
Yes.
On the show.
Yeah.
You shared a room with him.
Yeah.
Your other husband had his own space.
Yeah.
And then recently you said, look, in this house, I got my own space, my own bed.
Yes.
I got my own space. I'm on the 3rd floor. You on the 2nd floor. You on the 1st floor.
Yes.
I did what y'all when I want to.
And now I've taken another step out from that. I'm about to get my own place because I'm actually leaving the U.S. I mean, I don't want to live in the U.S. I'm
me either.
thinking of how I can have my own space. They can come visit me. I don't understand why I have to sleep in the same bed with the same person for 80 years in order for that to be husband and wife.
Yeah. Kenya, I have sat on here, Love McPherson. We talked about the lap movement, living apart but together. I've been very vocal on multiple episodes. I said, you should probably have your own place.
Thank you.
You know, and if we do live together, you need to have your own bedroom.
Right.
I need my own space.
Well, because you have a shrine to yourself. You have yourself. You have your personal work. Absolutely. I've had my own bedroom for many years. Tiger was in there because he was real. You know, Tiger can be a little bit.
Tiger.
Yeah. That room choice spinning again. That's that room. But then when he got, men get burnt out from that though. Mm-hmm. They can't sustain that. They cannot sustain a sexual activity every day with the same woman over multiple years. If they can, say it in the comments. Oof. Okay. Uh-huh. So when I got him out of my bed, it was better for him. He got his vitality back. Yeah.
That is so interesting.
It's fun too.
Listen, you are living a dream, baby. Let me just say this. Okay.
I'm waiting for the ladies to catch up and catch on. I think it requires so many skills. I think that some people have tried poly, which I never. Please do not try poly. You will make your marriage worse without the tools for polyamory. But when people try it, I wish more people would go through the process of becoming ready for polyamory.
And what is one of those things, of course, you talk about learning how to communicate authentically, really dealing with some of the roots of your relationship.
Yes.
And then what would be another thing that they would really need to delve into before they even consider this lifestyle? Okay,
so we already talked about, the creed. They need to understand who's speaking at all times. It's an art to know that this is my ego. What if you had a man who every time he start blaming you for something or start shaming you or he said, oh, hold up. That's just my ego speaking. That's not true. Because nothing my ego said is true. Why do I say that? Why do I say that, Brandi? Why do I say that nothing that your ego says is true?
Because it's an illusion. Our ego is the illusion.
Yes.
It's not real.
And it's just your what?
Perspective,
Thank
your vantage
you.
point.
How could one vantage point when there's, first of all, 70 billion, I'm sorry, what am I doing today? Something's wrong with my brain. There are 7.7 billion people on the planet. How can your one perspective be true?
Yeah.
It's just your perspective. Now I value your perspective. But just know it's yours. My perspective is just as valid. So that's the first thing we get in place, that ego, animal, higher self. We call that our creed. Know thyself. Know who is speaking. When you're angry, you can't act like you're right. You can be angry.
But you can't be right.
Thank you. We don't do right or wrong. We don't do good or bad. Your emotions are welcome here. If you set up a container, tell us who is speaking. Your animal needs to speak, go right ahead. You have my permission. So we have just a list of protocols. These are indigenous protocols that I call up level.
Indigenous protocols, I have to ask, how much of a role does spirituality play in this? Because many people will say this is not of Islam, this is not of Judaism, this is not of Christianity, this is some sort of other paganistic witchcraft.
Again, I would say for those persons, they have to be where they are, and I honor where they are. This is for persons who are ready to take a step outside of Western culture that has failed us and failed our children and taken our wisdom and buried our rites of passage and buried all of the things that would identify us to our culture. So if you that's the side that I go on. If you want to remain where you are perfection. It's nothing wrong with where you are. There's nothing wrong with where any of us are. But if you want more, I can offer that more.
Yeah.
Because that's what we talk about over here.
Is this more for people who are highly sexual and want to experience, a lot of sex and multiple sexual partners? Would this be for someone like that?
You know what? That triggered me because I said, now who did it trigger? It triggered my ego. Because my ego was like, damn, I haven't had sex all year. Damn, but I am highly sexual. And it said, I'm poly, but I am so selective of my partnerships. Like, I have to, A, one of the chakras got to be spinning.
Yeah.
B, you have to be in acceptance of the chakra that's spinning. So let's say, it's the crown chakra. That means it's not going to be no wild, primal sexual activity. That means I'm going to want you mostly to talk to me and be in the spiritual plane with me. Then we can think about some sexuality. But that may take some time. Are you okay with that? So it's just so many things that are blockers for me to just have wild sex. So that triggered my ego because I want more touch and more sensuality and more time for that. But anyways, what were you saying? That's just triggered me so I want more.
I was sitting here like, I want more. I want more touch. I want more sensuality. I was sitting here going in, Kendra, like that.
Yes, I really, all of us are touch. We need 12 hugs a day to remain sane. That's first. Mm-hmm. That's just basic sanity. Remember that if you have kids.
Science is science.
It's science.
Yeah, it is. 12 hugs.
12 hugs. The baby will die without the mother's touch. We continue to need that throughout life. And then the level of acknowledgement and attention. One thing I said on the show is I have attention needs.
When you said this, I was like, yo, this is my language. Because when you hear that, right, when she just needs some attention. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And it's like, even when I'm in relationship, in partnership, I would say, I need love and affection right now.
Yes.
I need attention right now.
Thank you.
I am very clear with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now sometimes, let's layer this conversation, sometimes your womb choice don't want to give you that attention.
That's the one. That's the real game.
But you want it. Now let me tell you. You want it from him.
Yeah. Woo.
And that's how we've been trained. So our system actually elevates us out of the trap of that. The trap of thinking that it can only come from this source. That's a mental bondage.
That's it.
And so last night I had my support choice over. He gave me some nice touch, but he's not somebody that my womb is spinning for. But I can now go between those harmonics, like playing a bigger instrument than just one, and have my needs met. Having my needs met is my number one objective. That's why I don't care what people say about my lifestyle, because I feel happy and I feel fulfilled. I was married for 12 years monogamously. Let me tell you something. I was lacking a few things, and that have nothing to do with my husband. It has to do with the lack of community and the lack of a setup for women, especially to get our needs met. Now, men can go get their needs met guilt-free.
Yeah.
Very often. I mean, it was just 50 years ago where it was truly that they should do that. It was expected. Women have had to stuff our nature and our desires and our needs down. And I just will never, ever do that again.
Yeah. I am so... We going to dinner after this, so y'all, there will be an after, but y'all ain't gonna see it because, baby, this my homegirl now. She, ain't many people can. I be like, I want your phone number. Can I have your phone number? Can we talk? I want to talk.
But is it not logical?
Yeah.
So any counter argument to that is moot.
Mm-hmm.
There's no counter argument to the fact, my personal fact that I should do and become what I desire, what I want. I should have my needs met.
You've given this analogy for those people who still, it might not be making a lot of sense to them, because there are a lot of people who like, I'm a one woman, I'm a one man girl. I just want to come home to one person. I just want to. But then you've given this example, like, okay, if you like to play chess, right? Okay, I like to play chess.
Yes.
But my partner don't like to play chess. But why won't you play chess with me? They don't like to play chess. Why don't you go find somebody to play chess with?
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing about our lives, right?
Yes.
I want to go work out. I want to walk in the park. I want to do those things. Let me find somebody who want to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's like Tiger loves to travel. My husband is too tall to be on a 24-hour flight. Carl's 6'3". He doesn't like to fly unless I get him first class. Now, Tiger, we can fly, and he loves to travel. Then my other partner, all of my partners do such vastly different things, and it's just so beautiful to have the experiences through community and connection, yes.
And so, okay, Carl gets your crown chakra spinning.
Yes.
Tiger has gotten the root chakra.
But no more. Now, these choices change.
Okay.
Over time. Remember, you start off in love, and then you're not in love. You love the person, and that's a change to unconditional love. So everything must change. That's the only constant.
Yeah.
I don't even think people are ready for that in marriage before they're polyamory. Before you explore polyamory, you have to explore metaphysics and implement metaphysics into your life and understand.
And I want you to dive into that. In what way?
So I just named a few of the choices, right? I talked about chakras. We're talking about metaphysics. Those are also representative of archetypes.
And you talk about the 9 archetypes,
Yes.
which are categories of energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did my homework, Karen.
You did a great job.
Listen.
The 9 categories of energy that we call a pantheon of energy, right? This is present in all things. The sun has energy, the moon has energy, day, night. So just understanding, like, for instance, I can pull and see what your 3 major energetics, your 3 archetypes are. And then I can know sort of how you're going to relate with me, what you need. One of my archetypes is soldier. In fact, I got 2 soldiers. So that's what makes my sensual drive and my desire for attention. That's like a Leo, Leo moon.
We are very much Leo. Yeah, we are Leos. Yeah, I'm big Leo energy.
And
yeah.
so if you know, you know. Like, if you understand that about yourself, now that's a way that you can start to embrace that part of yourself. So the archetypes and understanding your partner's archetypes. I know my children's archetypes, so I can understand them and embrace them just as they are. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you, with me, with anybody's sex drives or anything anybody's doing. They're on their journey. And they're here on earth, in the earth school, to go through challenges that ultimately grow us. So there's no way that you can be like, well, I don't have no challenges. Well, I want a life where there's no challenges. Mm-hmm. Or, well, this person shouldn't be this, All of this is perfection, what we're in. And it's so much fun when you understand the metaphysics of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good explanation or not.
The metaphysics. I mean, because it's deeper. It's spiritual. It's seeing in the unseen. It's
Thank you.
Things you cannot see.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I want to know, what does dating look like as a married woman, as to have 4 husbands and still dating? We'll never stop dating.
I'll never stop dating.
Yeah,
no.
me either.
I'll be 65,
Baby,
70,
still
honey.
dating.
And the young men, why do they love us so much these days?
Oh.
They're giving us all the candy and sweets. Too much. I mean, they're the best.
They are.
I welcome them with open arms.
Open arms. Amen. Amen. Come on.
But what I mean to say is that I forget the topic. See, I fall off topic. When I go, I travel.
What does dating look like for
Dating
you
is great.
with
So,
4 husbands? And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I am on Facebook dating. I am on.
Oh, you're on Facebook dating?
I don't know why I'm on Facebook dating, because I still have to do Facebook for my businesses.
Okay.
And so I waste time sometimes on there. And I've met some great guys on various different dating sites, okay? I enjoy, coming together with new men. I enjoy teaching and training and cultivating men. They're not ready when they come to you.
And you get them ready.
I get them ready.
Yeah.
I support them in becoming ready to be with, a goddess, an evolved being, a person who's not going to divorce. I don't even believe in breakups.
You said this. You do not believe in breakups. These are continuations.
Thank you.
In relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So dating for me looks like telling the man, of course, that I am married. That's first. I'm not gonna,
never a secret.
Never
That
a
is-
secret.
no,
And they
yeah.
could Google me, but that's never a secret. And then secondly, explaining to the man, what's my constitution? What's my creed? How does things work? And then also explaining to the man which chakra was spinning. Women have to tell men what they see in them and what they want from them. You can't expect, I'm waiting. Like my daughter used to say, I'm waiting on the boys to choose me. Baby, they don't have the picker. They don't have the spinning chakras. They're not in the feminine, right? A lot of them are, though, and that's why they're thinking they should choose. The feminine is the chooser.
Most people will hear that and say, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Find.
He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Okay,
Scripture.
choice and finding are two different things. Like, I think men do find wives. But choosing means you already have a spiritual awareness of what this person can offer you. And you've been given insights and you're understanding bodily how they could fit into your life and what they have for you. Men don't have that awareness. So they have a picker, maybe. The picker, or they gonna find, but women choose.
Women choose.
Yes.
So as you are out here choosing,
Yes.
and you're using your constitution to
Yes.
do the choosing,
Yes.
what does that look like? What does the constitution look like for you?
It really does look like talking to them about these things. I ask them about their past relationships. I ask them about their parents. I tell them about my past relationships. If I feel upset, I like to test to see if they can hold space for my emotion. And I tell them how to hold space for my emotion.
In what way?
Let's say, for instance, I was mad because one of my guys called me the other day talking about it was midnight. Now he called me. Now he's 35. I'm 51. Something about, it's midnight. What you doing? Da, da, da. We're not. That triggered me. That triggered my ego.
Why did it trigger your ego?
Because don't call me at midnight talking about what I'm doing and what's about this box and what's up with the box and I come get this box. Who is she talking to? Who? Sir. Sir. So,
Do not call her at midnight talking about no man.
what was he? I mean, he wasn't even chosen yet. He's not even up in the ranks to be talking to me like this. He's not a womb choice. I already told him he was a crown choice. I wanted to talk to him more. I didn't say nothing about sleeping with him. So I'm calling the shots of what I want in the relationship.
Yeah.
So the next day, I was sharing with him that I had a vent about that. And would he hold space for it? And yes, he can. And then I did my vent. I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. I said, you're not doing anything wrong. This is just my ego speaking. But that pissed me off. And I felt like you're not seeing me as a full human. Like, I don't know what young ladies respond to that, but I am way beyond the box. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, I have a full self, and it's very full. And you have a lot of wisdom that you could garner here. Plus, you can learn to make money. Plus, you can learn to do, you could learn. I am a virtual universal institute. I'm an oracle, baby.
Come on.
So who are you talking to? You're talking to this body part? You're missing out. So this is my vent. And after the vent, he learned, I had already been teaching him. He said, thank you for sharing that. How can I support you?
And what was your response?
Can you support me with some empathy about how I might feel receiving that call? He gave me the empathy. Can you support me by asking me some open-ended questions about what I'm saying? So he's learning how to soothe my emotions, not feel wrong or shamed or guilty, but just hold space. So these are skills that, I don't know, I just want to get all the women in that mode. Our children need to know this.
Yeah. This is so good because I think that far too often women do not believe that they are the chooser.
Oh.
They are waiting to be chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when men bring any type of conversation, whether it's the box or the this or the that, baby, and what that mouth do, and all that other stuff that they be talking about, right?
Yeah.
They just like, oh, well,
Right.
And we get into this online culture of pick-me-shas and all those other, labels that we want to put on it.
Right.
But you're saying if you create the Constitution and the Creed,
yes,
they will get in line.
Thank you.
They will fall in line.
We set the culture. We're women. We have the children. We're supposed to be in charge of the protocols for community. We're supposed to be in charge of how the government serves everyone. We're supposed to be in charge of how our families are. You know, the matriarch, grandmama was in charge of that. It was just she had to sort of do it with, granddaddy, or he's, we honor him, or the pastor. Women have set this up and can and should set up these protocols and principles. Men would happily do it. Let me tell you something. Men want nothing more than to please us and to pleasure us and to add to our power and acknowledge our power. They love it. And we don't even have that space for them.
So even in this manosphere, even in the red pill.
I love the manosphere.
Even in the red pill community,
yeah,
Kendra, you would say you would give that same sentiment.
Absolutely. They're waking up. When I first started talking about polyamory 20 years ago online, before any black person was talking about or doing it, and I got all those comments, I knew that I had doused water on somebody sleeping. And they're going to be like, groggy, waking up. You have to expect that as a healer. You a light worker and you don't know what it looks like to wake up. Do you know how many men in those manospheres had to go through that manosphere space to vent and release whatever they went through, and then woke up out of that and said, okay, next thing.
Yeah.
Now they on, we respect feminine. Or, maybe the black woman is God. Or, they've spun out of that. That's just a part of the growth process. We got to respect people where they are. And this is another thing polyamory's taught me.
Yeah. What does marriage look like now? And if you had the opportunity, if things were different, would you be married again? Would you get married?
I have a 25-year-old daughter, and I would never suggest that she marry in somebody else's system, that she create her own system of marriage and what that looks like for her. Following somebody else's guidebook for no other reason beyond you were born into their culture is not, it's fine to do that, but it's not something I would suggest for my daughter. Or I would not do that again. Creating and writing your own marriage vows, again, is like a step away from the tradition. But you can take furthermore, more and more steps to literally creating the model how you want it. The way that I want marriage and what I want her to know is that she can create however she wants. The way I would do marriage for myself is truly create community. I am married to my full community. I would love to see people come together and be married and continually add to that community financially and building, and have a constitution and a creed that keeps those people in harmony. Mm-hmm. I would love to see that. That's what I want in my marriage. That's what I have.
Yeah. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that, I think this is cliche, but you come first. Your desires are first. And every one of your desires is leading you on a journey that will grow you. Some people don't follow their desires because they're like, I'm not supposed to have these desires.
Yeah.
But the desires is what pushes you into the lessons that you need. So just, I got married because I thought that that's what you had to do, to have babies. And my mom said, you better not ever bring a baby in here out of wedlock. And I'm a Cancer mom. I love babies. And I knew I wanted to have babies, constantly getting pregnant by mistake, how that was. These are things that people don't talk about, but your body wants that. So I say, let me get married. I wanted to have sex. I love sex. I love intercourse and touch and everything that I shared. And I wanted to do it the right way that my parents would understand and accept me and embrace me. That's why I got married.
Yeah. For your parents to accept you and embrace you. I think so often, and especially there is some unlearning that is happening in this culture and society.
Yes.
But even when we look at marriage and family and children, it's almost as if you're more worthy when you are a woman that's married and has children. And if you are not, it's almost like you feel like you're kind of fighting against to prove like, well, look at all the things I've done.
Yes.
Look at what I've done in the world.
Yes.
And I don't have to be married or have children.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we, as a child-free woman and not married, I think sometimes you wrestle with that because even having a twin sister who's married and has the family and all the things, it's almost as if she says something, right, it's going to be taken away more like, oh, yeah, I can hear that from her because she got some experience. She know what she's doing over there. You, not so much,
Right. I feel that. I empathize with you. I understand what you're saying. It's almost as if marriage has been pedestalized and the women who are married, and I felt that as a married woman. Like, I do throw it around like I've been married 30 years. Like, who are you talking to? So I get why, I've felt the receiving end of that pedestalization, but at the same time, the experience that every human, this is what Western culture has forgotten. Every human on this planet has a unique experience that everybody can learn from. And that's just what we forget when we continue the tradition of doing that. That's almost like, it's just, there shouldn't just be two categories, married or non-married. You understand? Like, why is that how a woman's defined? It's only because we keep holding on to those traditions. Again, they're not our traditions.
Yeah. If you could reshape what we see in Western culture, how would you reshape it? How would you reframe it? How would you give us a different look?
I mean, honestly, we're already doing it. We've already reframed it. Any man that I love, I'm married to. What if we had a culture like that, where all the humans that you meet, that you love, are your husband? All the humans that they meet, that they love, are their wives. All the children are our children. It's no my children. How would that village look? How would that apartment building look? How would that community look, subdivision? It would look like people loving each other. Now, let's say, for instance, well, I want to be in the house with my husband, because in my view, every adult human should have their own space.
Yeah, truly believe that.
Now, what if every adult human had their own space in our little land? And then if I wanted to see somebody, I could see somebody, but I don't own somebody where I got to take them in my place and y'all better not come in here, because then that's the end of community.
Yeah. I mean, you speak to that so much in the work that you do. You talk about this freedom, right? This freedom that you have.
Yes.
But also that, this toxic patriarchy that has really been created, that we've really bought into, has really made it where monogamy is ownership.
Yes.
And especially for women.
Yes.
And so when we look at social media, when you see all the reels and all the TikToks of, marriage benefits men.
Yes.
Women who are not married live longer.
Yes.
When we see that type of, conversation that's being had now, What's your view on that?
My view is that I've been 20 years ahead on this. I've told y'all that. That's why I do. That's why that's why I've written, my husband and I have written 12 books about freedom-based love and the mindset shift. And that's where we're headed either way, into the new earth, into a new realm, into a new way of thinking. The patriarchy is dying. It's, it's like it's on the floor twitching.
Oh my God. And they are so mad.
That's okay. Look, we understand. We empathize with how angry they are. I wouldn't want to give up my privileges either. If I had privileges, would you want to give yours up?
Right.
See, my culture says I can empathize with all human beings. I empathize. If my husband's wife is mad at me, I empathize. If I'm mad at her, she empathizes. This is a new way of being. And I've been doing this for 20 years. So when you say, well, what do I think about the patriarchy? I said, we've built the path into the next iteration of relationships and love and just human relations.
Yeah. Freedom-based love.
Freedom-based love.
Yeah.
Even our children need freedom-based love.
Why do you say that? Because
we're doing ownership love with our children. And we want them to be who we want them to be. This is how we got so many narcs running around here, abuse and beating them and trying to get them to do stuff the right way. And you not right and this isn't right. And yet, that's ownership. That's narcissism. It's narcissistic love format, to try to build somebody into the image you want them to be instead of finding out who they are and what they need. None of our parents held space for our emotion.
No.
They did not know how.
No.
But that's the basis of my culture that I've built. My men have to know how to hold space for their own and for my emotions. And in our communal ascent, we all have to do that for each other.
Yeah.
So the men who are on the ground with the patriarchy, we hold space for you. I hold space for you. I know how challenging these times are. It's almost like walking into a dark room and you don't know what's there. You don't know if there's a monster there. It's scary. And I feel for them.
Yeah. Freedom-based love, though, it comes with its challenges, as you talked about.
Yeah.
And what does adultery or cheating or infidelity
Funny
look like?
You should say that. On TikTok recently, I've started a segment about how I found out 4 years later that Tiger had another partner for 4 years. I did not know.
You were totally in the dark about this.
Totally in the dark. I went to Bailey's, and I don't mind, except my ego is triggered and my animal is hurt. But my higher self knows that this is here to grow me, to grow us. And that's how I remain divorce-proof.
So how did you find out that Tiger was in a relationship?
Last September, I went to Bailey's to service one of my clients who was going through a divorce. We stopped the divorce, of course. But when I was there was a huge, massive storm going on in Asheville. Do you remember Asheville?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
That huge storm?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send it, I promise. But I picked up the phone and called my husband who lives there, and there was a woman, because I was asking about my dogs. I wanted to, because he was watching my dogs for me. I was in Bali and then Bailey's. And so he had my dogs. I said, how are the dogs? And the girl said, the dogs are fine. I said, babe, who is that? And he said, the next day, he's like, it's Roxanne, and why are you all in my, it's nothing, it's nobody, we're in a storm. He goes off, he was going off because I asked who it was, which tells me and tells any woman, you know how we are, we're like, oh, it's something happening. So over time, I found out more tidbits, but he would never tell me the full story of who is Roxanne. And so I folded it out in my story time on TikTok on how I found out who this woman was, because it was a very interesting meeting when I finally met her face to face.
So how did you meet her face to face?
Well, that's something you have to watch on the story time.
Well, what if our audience don't go to TikTok? What if they don't have TikTok? It's being changed. It's changing hands.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Progressive Love Academy has a YouTube as well. We're going to have that story time up.
Okay. To be continued.
But I finally did meet her, and he hadn't told me about her.
So when you met her, was there understanding? Was your ego? What
I
was
brought her flowers. I mean, we had a great meeting. I mean, you gotta hear the whole story.
Look at Hannah over there shaking her head. She like, ain't no way. She said she couldn't.
I was happy to finally meet her because she was a huge mystery to me. But it was just the gotcha moments as to how I got to meet her.
You needed authenticity. You needed honest communication, authentic communication.
We spent hours together. We had a laughing good time. But the point is that all of us go through these things in our relationship. There's no relationship without challenges. All of my relationships have challenges. My relationship with my older husband has challenges. I want him to give me more massage and more touch and feel like all we do is work. My relationship with Tiger got challenges. He doesn't tell the truth. He grew up with parents who wouldn't let him tell the truth.
But his first marriage ended because of infidelity.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he said it was on his wife's side.
Yeah.
Well, guess who that wasn't true about? So, these men are narcissistic. This is a personality disorder. These men have been through trauma. Women have been through trauma. All of us are bringing drama. There's no one who's not. And so that's what I caution to women and men in relationships. You're going to go through it. And I can show you the easiest way to get through the challenges of relationships. But no relationship is without drama.
No relationship is without drama. When people work with you, how long are they looking to commit to being in process with you?
Well, at least 12 weeks. I mean, a lot of people want to have a one-off call with me, and I'm like, there's no reason to talk to me for an hour. I mean, you can see we're in this interview, and you're like, where are we at? There's so much to do.
Yeah. This
is a total reboot of how we process our lives, how we experience our lives, how we think about other. What is other? There is no other. For me, you are me.
Yeah.
How I treat you is how I'm treating myself.
Mm-hmm.
And how people treat me is how I'm treating myself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many mirrors and ways to understand these reflections. That's the walk that we do. At least starts with 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Yes.
Kenya Stevens, as we begin to close out this interview, one word you're committed to in this season of your life.
I'm committed to ensuring that every community...
One word.
Oh, one word. One word that what?
That you are committed to in this season of your life. One word. You can elaborate, but I need the one word.
Let me think. The only word that comes up is bliss.
That's a good one.
I'm committed to bliss.
Yeah. Why?
Because it keeps me vital and well. It keeps my body well. And my mind and my heart as well.
Yeah. Bliss. Kenya K. Stevens, you are a gem. I am so honored to have this conversation with you. Bottom Powers Talks, another good one for the books. Be sure to share this with someone who could use a little more bliss in their life in this season. I'm your girl, Brandi Harvey. Eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. Peace.